Claude Cowork built all of this: an Excel overview, a finished presentation, an interactive dashboard. Cowork is an AI agent working through your files. I gave it 3 real tasks, and this is what happened, including the part where it took over my computer. I connect one folder, invoices with AI-generated invoices, and the task then is one sentence: analyze the invoices and build an Excel overview and a presentation. Now Cowork works, not like a chatbot, like an agent. Some decisions here and there, and now it continues the job. While it runs, understand what's actually happening. It works in a loop: task, action, result, analysis, decision. The question is the job complete, or does it have to continue? If it continues, it decides how it continues. This is an AI agent, a system completing tasks autonomously. And while it works, you are not blind. You can watch every step it does. What files it is reading, what files it is creating, what commands it is running. So you have the full insight into Claude Cowork's actions. Done. The presentation, 7 pages. I didn't touch a single input file. I didn't open PowerPoint. And the Excel overview. Same logic, all created by Claude Cowork and all stored locally in my invoices folder. Here's now a feature that separates a demo from a real workflow: skills. A skill is a written description of a process, nothing more. Think about video editing. The first time you research every step. The second time you remember the process, you remember the sequence. And obviously you cannot reprogram Claude's brain, you cannot insert knowledge into it. A skill is how you're handed your process, exactly when a task needs it. We now turn this process into a reusable skill. So whenever we want to analyze invoices again, Claude doesn't have to research all the steps and the entire process. It can just access the skill and follow exactly the steps that are outlined in the skill. This is how we can make sure that knowledge AI gained throughout our tasks, throughout our workflows, can be reused. Again, some decisions. The skill is now finished. We only have to install it down here to save it as skill in Cowork. Now with this, under Customize, we can find the skill, this invoice analysis skill. And in there, you see what a skill looks like. As mentioned, a skill is just a written description of a process. And this process is now outlined here in the skill. Every task you now add to Claude Cowork will analyze this skill description. This is true for all skills in Claude Cowork that you have, because based on that description, Claude decides whether the process outlined in the skill will be used for the specific task. A single chat session is nice, but real work lives in projects. A project is a dedicated workspace. It owns the chats, it owns the folders, it owns the files. It is the entire workspace combining all the information you need in a specific project. I give the project a name, I add the household spending folder and create the project. I am inside my project with the folder as context, and I now add the next prompt. I want to analyze the spending data and build an interactive dashboard as a single HTML file. HTML is the base of every website, and as Cowork and AI are very good on working with code, we can't just use that logic to build our own little HTML page here as an interactive dashboard for our data. While it's working on the task, you can always inspect all your projects in the project folder, access the project, access recent chats like the one we are currently working at, and add new chats, new sessions to the corresponding project. The entire project always has access to the context that you add to it. Back in our session here with some decisions again. 1, 2, 3. Now look at the result. This is not a wall of text or any slide. It's a full interactive dashboard built based on the data we had in our folder. And again, this is the HTML logic behind every website. And Claude Cowork is very good at writing code and writing such small websites. This is why this stunning result was generated easily now. In our Customize menu, we don't only have skills, we also have connectors. Connectors connect Cowork to other applications like Dropbox or Slack in here. But we can also use connectors to let Claude use our browser, specifically Claude in Chrome. This requires the Claude app in the Chrome Web Store, so this must be installed, the enabled Claude in Chrome connector, and Claude in Chrome must also be enabled in the settings. Now Claude can control my browser, and I have a task for it. Because in my browser, I'm logged into Spotify and I'm looking for a specific playlist, and Claude Cowork should do this job for me. Find the Deep Focus playlist on Spotify and play it. Use the Chrome browser for this. It opens a new tab controlled by Claude now. I allow the access for the website. It's on Spotify, searching for the Deep Focus playlist, found one, and starts playing it. I didn't click a thing, I did nothing but granting it access to the browser and instructing Claude Cowork to browse that information on the Spotify website. This is an example for a connector and how Claude Cowork can access your browser. 3 things before you now try out those things on your own. First, you need a paid Cowork plan, a paid Claude plan to really make use of those features. I recommend to get started with the Pro plan here. You might also need a Max plan if you dive deeper into Claude Cowork. Second point is privacy. Make sure to disable location metadata and help improve our AI models, because you might share some private data with Claude here, and that's the least security mechanism you can implement to make sure not all your private data is used to train the models. Still, you're sending your data to Anthropic, to Claude, so be careful about which data you send, or at least be aware of the fact that your data is sent to another company. And the third thing is, be cautious in general. We have seen folder access by Claude, which allowed it to edit, create, or also delete files. We also saw browser access, so I would not recommend to use Claude Chrome, for example, the Chrome connector, when your banking app is opened, because never forget, it can do anything you can do in the browser. So you can try those things, but be cautious and be careful when doing so.